The hunt for the Holy Grail. If you are consistently switching between different strategies, you may be suffering from the Holy Grail syndrome. The main key is to focus on your process and not just the outcome of individual trades. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. I hope everybody enjoyed the roller coaster ride. The CPI results came out 6.4, expectation 6.2. Let's see the charts. Today was a really roller coaster ride, extreme one, if I might say. We have started the day over here at 409, went all the way up to 415, went back down 408, and went to 413. So the intraday gave us 1.4 to the upside, 1.5 to the downside, and another 1.2 to the upside. This is weekly, if not monthly, volatility on the SPY. If you look on the daily, zooming out, clearing and cleaning the intraday noise, we can see that the SPY is still holding in this short-term downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. Let's see if we can get a break to the upside, closing this gap over here. Or are we going to break to the downside, retesting the yellow and maybe the red trend line as support? We can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, and now we have all the levels to follow for managing our risk. QQQ, same thing. If we go on the daily, the intraday, cleaning the noise, cleaning the chart, starting the day over here from 301 all the way to 308. Back to 301, back to 308. Extreme roller coaster ride. On the daily, inside these two trend lines, let's see a break to the upside. We have 314. Breaking to the downside, we have 292. No one knows what will happen next. All we have to do is follow price using levels and trend lines to manage our risk. Dow Jones still failing to close above the 343. This one is a very tough resistance for the bulls on the Dow Jones. If they will give up, this trend line, in my opinion, will not hold, and we will see a flush to the downside, probably towards the 325 area. IWM holding above this trend line inside the uptrend channel. 193 needs to break to the upside. If bulls want to take control back, they need to close above this 193 and going back to the 200. Short idea below this trend line, 2-3 days below this trend line will send IWM towards 181 in my opinion. 188 will have to hold strong support. It was a strong resistance. And if this trend line will get broken to the downside, 188 will get retested as support. ITB, home construction ETF, very strong uptrend since the lows of October 2022 from the 50 all the way to 73. Now at the 70-71, we can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, and now we see this area of the 70-71 is a strong one. We can be more accurate from this low to this high. Now we have all the levels to the downside and to the upside, but overall ITB construction ETF looking good. If you are not long yet, I would wait for two scenarios. First one, close above the 71.60, or if this trend line will get retested and it will hold, I would wait for a bounce. SMH If you're following me here and on Twitter, you know this trend line, you know these levels, and we are consolidating between the 242 and the 255 with this trend line holding strong resistance, the higher highs. Let's see if the SMH, the semiconductor ETF, can break to the upside, and then we have 274 and maybe even 284 and 300 to the upside if bulls will give up. 241 needs to hold, otherwise 231 and maybe even 217. And watch out for these gaps. We know more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. We have this gap over here, the 228, and another one over here, 212 gaps. Oil, as we can see, getting rejected one time after another. 80 is a very strong resistance. 78 needs to hold, otherwise 75 to the downside. Fibonacci, swing low, swing high. We can take also this swing high just to give us an area of support and resistance. Fibonacci levels and trend lines. No other indicators needed. As you can see, my chart is clean. Not even volume. Why? Because everything follows price. And Fibonacci levels and trend lines give us the roadmap for potential support resistance for price action to the future. AAPL bouncing between the 150 to the 154. One of them will give up. If the 149 will give up, this gap over here will get closed, and 143 will be the next support to look at. 155, 154 will get broken to the upside. 160 and maybe even this gap, small gap over here, the 171, will get filled. Google 93, the 618 Fibonacci retracement level is holding 3 consecutive dojis of this 93 indecision in the market. So we certainly cannot decide if to go long or short. We need to wait. Long idea above 96, short below 93, and of course everything you see in here on this video and on any other videos on my channel is for educational purposes only. And if we are talking about educational videos, check my Fibonacci Traders Academy playlist. 18 videos, 20 minutes or less on how to become a better trader, technical side, and more important, on the mental side. AMD bouncing between these two trend lines, but overall still short-term downtrend. We have these 3 gaps to the downside. At least one of them will get filled, if not 2. Pay attention to this. And now we take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, and we see 89 to the upside, 81 to the downside. If 81 will fail to hold, this trend line will get retested once again. And if this trend line will fail to hold, this gap will get filled. Tesla finally breaking up above and closing above the 204 area now at a 210. Tesla is a beast lately, 100% since the lows of January. Burning shorts. Very strong sentiment on Tesla. If we take a look 1 second on the weekly, to ease the noise from the daily, we can see 204, very strong support. Now breaking, price is breaking to the upside. Let's see continuation towards 230 and maybe even 246. Next, NVDA. if you're following me here and on Twitter, you certainly identify and you recognize these trend lines. These are two new trend lines because price now broke to the upside, closed above this yellow trend line, as we can see in the past few sessions since beginning of February. This trend line was a very strong resistance. Now breaking to the upside, this trend line will be next. We can take Fibonacci swing low, swing high to this one, and Fibonacci give us the extension levels to the upside. Once again, swing low, swing high, and there you have it. It's all about Fibonacci. That's it. No other indicators are truly needed. We need to understand the relationship between candlestick analysis, aka price action, trend lines, and Fibonacci levels. Shopify earnings coming up tomorrow after the bell. 50, and this trend line to the upside, to the downside, this gap will get filled. Netflix bouncing between the 344 and the 370. One of them will give up eventually. If it's the bulls, then to the downside, closing this gap over here. If the bears will give up, this trend line will get retested once again. And if this trend line will get broken to the upside, these are the levels for future potential resistance. Microsoft between the 266 and the 276. Nothing special on Microsoft, only that we have this gap over here, the 263. Let's see where Microsoft is heading on the weekly. We can see a gap, 264, same gap, same price action as we had here over at in August of 2022. Boeing, BA, finally breaking and closing above the 217. We have been following this on Discord, Twitter, and also here. Now, all we have to do, if we took long, all we have to do is follow levels and manage risk according. And as you can see, swing low, swing high, 209, perfectly. Support, 204, support, resistance, 225, and this trend line at the 237 area, maybe above it, the 251. Trend lines, Fibonacci levels, and price action. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and don't forget, check the links in the description below. My first ever ebook about the psychology behind trading. Until the next video, stay safe.